Welcome back to Villainous Wednesday. We are doing our very first playthrough. Instead of just a walkthrough, we're going to do a playthrough. It was suggested, I loved the idea, so here we are. Now, in any Villainous game, unless otherwise stated by the character, you start with 4 cards. In solo play, I looked it up, everybody says you start with 0 power, which is, I'm fine with. All the power is off camera right now because I don't have that much room. All my poison will be where I said in the previous video. Now, this die is going to figure out if I'm going to get faded by my opponent. What I had read was 1 to 4 and a d10, and on the last turn it would be 1 to 5. So here we're going to do 1 and 6. That means I get faded by an opponent at the end of turn. If I get 2, 3, or 4, or 5, nothing is going to happen. On the turn that I would win at the start of the next turn, it would also be 1, 3, and 6. That way I can add in extra possibility of being faded. But this board does not have a at the start of turn. But I will, deem when that would take effect, if I'm about to win. And that's when we'll do the extra number. But as the game hasn't started yet, I can't fade myself. So, as I said, you start with 4 cards, no power. For Evil Queen, no poison. Down here, I'm using a Lorcana counter. So, as it's not turn 1 yet, it's still at 0. Once we get started, I'm going to be hitting this between each turn, and if I reach 20 and do not win on that turn, it's game over, and my invisible opponent wins. So, wish me the best of luck, and let's get into this. I will state everything that I'm doing. I will let you guys see what I'm doing. And, yeah, let's have some fun. Okay. So I've got an ingredient, an item, and a couple actions in play that I do not need right now. So we are going... So at the beginning of your turn, you get to move wherever you want. As long as it's not locked. So I'm going to move here. While you're at a location, you can do each action once. Unless otherwise stated. So I'm going to start by collecting 2 power. And I'm just going to put the power at the top of my board, unless a hero moves it out of the way, and that way it stays separate from my poisons. So that's that. Over here, this is move a card. As I have no cards in play right now, can't really move anybody around. This emblem right here, this is discard. For many, many, many games, we thought this was discard a card. We found out it was not discard a card, it's discard cards. So I am going to choose to discard 3 cards from my hand. I'm going to discard an ingredient. I know, that seems weird. I'm going to discard 2 take a bite effects. So that way, they sit there waiting to be picked up or reshuffled in. That was the discard. With play a card, I'm going to spend the 2 power that I received, and I'm going to play Magic Mirror. Each time that I'm faded, I get to draw an extra card. So I'm just going to play this here. It does not have a specific place it needs to get played. When you play a card, it needs to be on the bottom at an unlocked location. Now I can move. If I really wanted to, I could move this over here. You can move to an adjacent location. I just did that just so we can all see how each one works. So with that, I'm going to say I end my turn. At the end of your turn, you draw back up to 4 cards. 2, 3, 4. Because we're playing solo play, the fate dice is used. It is a 6. Of course it is. First time using it, I might as well get faded. Now, we're going to play like Like I know what I'm doing as an opponent. So we have Love's First Kiss. Evil Queen loses 1 poison, and I choose a hero from the Fate discard pile and put it to the top of the deck. Or Woodland Critters. Evil Queen must reveal her hand. Choose a card from her hand to discard. So I can't do that because there's nobody in the discard pile, so I have to use Woodland Critters. So, to the opponent, I get to reveal my hand. I guess I'm choosing what gets taken out. And I'll play nice. I would probably get rid of a Magic Tome, which would look at the top card of your deck and put it into your hand. Discard the rest. Sorry, look at the top 4. So that's going to go into the discard. But on that turn, I got faded, so I get to draw. So I'm back up to 4, at least. All right. So now it's back to my turn. And starting turn 2, I forgot to hit the counter button. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go over here. So I can collect 3 power. What is that one there? I can play 2 cards. And I can move a card. Okay. This turn you may perform actions or code by hand, so I don't need that. There are cards in Villainous in general called condition cards that are played on opponents' turns. I guess these don't make any sense if I'm playing solo. I'm going to do some research on that for next week, and we're going to see if I can just remove these from the deck. Alright, I can't play that. Alright, so I guess I'm playing Huntsman. Here's a Huntsman location, get -1 strength, and I can activate and move Huntsman to any unlocked location. So he costs 1, and I'm just going to play the Huntsman to the lab. Okay, so I'm going to end my turn. So I draw a card, because I needed 1 card, and we roll for fate. These dice are against me. All right, I'm getting faded back to back. This feels like a regular game to me now. Okay. Evil Queen must pay -1 if there's no other here. Okay, I'm going to play Bashful. So the options were Bashful and Grumpy. So I'm going to play Bashful on myself. Evil Queen must pay 1 power to perform Brew Poison action, which is that one there. So I'm going to throw this here because I'm a mean opponent to myself. So now I can't go to that location as the 2 areas are being covered by a hero. All right. So that's going to end my turn. So I'm going to start turn 3. This is not going in my favor at all. All right, what do I got here? Okay. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to collect 1. Now, while I'm here... Oh, I forgot about a rule about the dice. So I can move a hero if I wished. So I'm going to. I'm going to move Bashful over so that way I still have access to that one. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But that would be move a hero. Down here, we have play a card. Fate. Now, in regular play, you would use Fate to fate an opponent. You would look at 2 of their Fate cards, and then choose and play one. But as I don't have an opponent, the Fate action is going to take a number away from the die. So I'm going to take the number 6 away from the die. So if the number 6 comes up on the next roll, I do not get fated. So I can only be fated by 1. And that's how the Fate button works in solo play. And then down here we have the potion. Now, I have 2. So I'm going to pay 1 to activate that because of the hero. And I'm going to turn these 2 power of mine into poison. And I need to get a better look at him. He is a 2 strength. Okay. And that's going to end my turn. So I'm going to not draw a card because I don't have a card to draw. Or I didn't use a card, so I get to roll a die. Remember, 6 is no longer a fate. The one time I don't get a 6. All right, so that concludes the turn. So we go into turn 4. All right, I'm going to fly over here. I'm going to collect 3 power. 1, 2, and 3. And with the play a card action, I'm going to play Take a Bite. Using the 2 poison that I have, I'm going to get rid of Bashful. That was a good turn. What else can I do in here? Move things and... Oh, I forgot to draw a card off that last fate. Oh. On this turn, you may perform actions that are covered by heroes. Oh. Well, then I'm going to play... I'll fix you. It's going to do absolutely nothing for me right now, but it will allow me to draw an extra card at the end of my turn. So that is going to end my turn. So I'm going to draw 1, 2. And we get a fate roll. 1. I get fated again. My opponent is mean. Alright. When Sleepy is played, you may discard 1 item from his location. Okay. Yep. I'm going to be mean to myself because it's the proper way to do this, I guess. I'm going to play Sneezy. Oops. Sorry about the camera. When Sneezy gets played, I discard an item from his location. There goes the magic mirror. You know, that card that I need. Alright. So with that, I start my next turn. We are in turn 5, and I have no ingredients in play. This is going well. Alright. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to collect my 1 power. I'm going to... No, I want to be there next turn. I'm going to brew potion. I'm going to take all 4 of my power and turn it into poison. And I'm going to play an ingredient. It costs nothing to play. The Old Hag's Cackle. I'm going to play it here. When this comes into play, I gain 1 power for each hero I have in play. Now, if I had thought about doing that the first time, then I could have had a 5th power, or a 5th poison. So that's going to end my turn, because, no, I'm also going to use Fate. I'm going to get rid of the number 6 again. So no 6 on Fate. So I end my turn, I'm going to draw. And we're going to roll. 2, of course. I get rid of a number, and I don't get traded. Okay. So on my next turn, I'm going to go here. We're going to move that over to turn 6. All right, right off the bat, I'm going to discard these 3 cards from my hand. 2 condition cards and an item. And I'm going to have to look at his power, 2. I'm going to play a card to take a bite using 2 poison. I always want to call it potion. And we're going to get rid of the dwarf. All right. And then I'm going to gain 2 power. All right. There we go. That's going to end my turn. So I get to draw 4. 2, 3, 4. And we roll. 1 and 6 is back. Oh, good. Back to back, no fate. All right, now I can start doing things. Gonna take a look at my hand. So as my turn starts, we go to turn 7. Still not looking very good for me. Yeah, that's not gonna help. Okay. So we're going to go here so I can gain 3 power. 1, 2, 3. Using both of the play a card actions, I'm going to spend 2 to play another ingredient. This one, when it comes into play, I can move heroes to any unlocked location. There are no heroes in play, which is a shock, I know. And we're going to pay 1 to play a throne. If I activate it, I can take 1 power from the supply and add it to my poison. So I'm just going to put it here with the Huntsman. And I can move. No, wait, no, that's an activate. That's not a move. So I'm going to activate that. So I'm going to take 1 from the supply, and we're going to add it to the poison. Gotta keep a stockpile for when Snow White comes out. Okay, and that's going to end my turn. So I'm going to draw 2 cards to go back up to 4. Cool. And we roll. Do I get faded? That's a 5. I do not. Yay. All right. Yeah, I have another condition card. So again, I can't use these because I don't have an actual opponent. Okay. I need to go here. I'm going to collect 2 power. 1, 2. I'm going to discard all 4 cards from my hand, as I don't need them. And that's going to end my turn. You see, Villainous can be very quick-paced, or it can be very slow. Okay. And without looking at my hand, let's roll. No fate. Great. So we go to turn 8. All right. Which ones do I have in play? Cool. Okay. I'm going to play here. Going to collect 3 more power. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to play pay 1 to play Mummy Dust. Each time a fate action targets you before your next turn, take 1 power from the supply and add it to my poison. So I'm going to add that one there. And using the other action, I'll play a card action. I'm going to move 1 to play Black of Night. You may perform 1 available action at your location again, even if you've already used it. And that's the 4th ingredient. So first I'm going to activate the gain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And we unlock the cottage. All right, I'm going to activate the throne so I can get a poison from the supply. And that's going to end the turn. So I'm going to draw 2. And we roll. Fate. I guess it only makes sense. I was getting ahead. All right, 1, 2. All right, what do we have here? Wooden Critters, which is the evil queen must reveal her hand. We had that before. And a pickaxe. When the pickaxe is played, added to a hero. That hero gets +2 strength. There's no hero in play, so I have to use the Woodland Critters again. So I get to reveal the hand to the opponent, and he would take something out and discard it. They would probably take a bite and discard it, which is very mean. Anyways. Okay, I'm going to go here and start my next turn. Turn 9. I'm going to gain 2 power. So 1 and 2. And then I'm going to spend 2 power to play Black Magic. It's an effect. Choose an item or ingredient from your deck or discard pile and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I'm going to go into my discard pile, and I'm going to get my mirror back. And I'm going to put the mirror into my hand. I played a card. I'm going to discard 2 cards from my hand, and I'm going to end my turn. So I draw 3 cards to bring me up to 4. 1, 2, and 3. And we roll to see if I get faded. Of course I do. All right. 1, 2. We have Snow White And Sleepy. If Sleepy is revealed during a fade action, you may play both cards revealed during this action. If I'm playing... Hold on a second. I'd have to take a look at a card. Okay, yeah. I'll do it properly. So I'm going to play Sleepy over here at the laboratory, and I'm going to discard Snow White. Not activating that and putting Snow White in play. Because, as an opponent, I can see I have lots of poison. Okay, so now it is my turn. I'm going to go here. I'm going to collect 3. 1, 2, 3. And for those of you that are putting a comment that says, hey, you didn't get a poison for being faded from one of the ingredients. Yes, I'm realizing that as well. All right, so I'm going to pay 2 to play out the magic mirror. Then I'm going to activate the magic mirror. I pay 3 more, 1, 2, and 3, which is going to bring Snow White from the discard pile and put her into play. So and that's going to end my turn. I draw a card to go up to 4 cards in hand. And I roll. Of course I get faded. Why wouldn't I? Playing against human people. I've never been faded this many times. Alright, what have we got here? When Happy is played, Evil Queen loses poison equal to the number of heroes in her realm. And Wishing Well. When Wishing Well is played, attach it to a hero. Each time Evil Queen moves to this location, she immediately loses 1 poison. So because I'm a meanie opponent, I'm going to play Happy. I'm going to put Happy right here to cover more stuff. So I lose 2 poison because of heroes. Hello, dog. How are you? Okay. That was horrible. Okay, duplicate the ability. So I'm going to get the fate. Which one is it? When I get faded. Each time you get faded, turn something from the power from the supply and turn it into poison. So right now, Snow White is a 6 strength, which is not good. So I'm going to go over here. Oh, sorry, I'm starting my turn. Hit the counter, go over here. I'm going to discard my entire hand, do nothing else, so I can draw 4. So I can draw 1. I now have to shuffle my discard pile, which is actually really good, because while I'm doing this, I can get a take a bite, which is kind of a necessity. All right, so we have 1, 2, and 3 more cards. All right, here's the fate roll. Of course. You know, there's a 33% chance that I get faded. This seems against me. Evil Queen loses 1 poison for each hero. And choose a hero from... Okay, no, I'm not going to play the Kiss. I'm going to give Snow White an extra 2 strength. Is that smart? No, not really, no. But I have to play that way. Okay. So I did get a couple take-a-bites, so I'm going to hang on to these. All right, we are at turn 11. I feel like I missed a button. Okay, I'm going to go here. How much strength do you have? You are a 2. Good. Okay, so while I'm here, I am going to turn all of my power into poison. So putting me from 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 poison now. And while I'm here, I am going to play a card. I'm going to take a bite. I'm going to get rid of this hero. I'm going to pay 2 poison to get rid of Sleepy, because that was the one that started all this mess. I'm going to collect 1 power. Then I'm going to... Do I need to move anybody? Not really. Do I activate? No. I'm going to fate. I'm going to get rid of the number 6 on the die, so I cannot be fated with a 6. And yeah, we'll leave it just like that, I guess. Yeah. So that ends my turn. Going to draw and roll. Remember, number 6 is gone. Thank goodness. All right. So I'm going to fly over here to start turn 12. Going to get 1 power. Get 1 power. How much poison do I have? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Snow White is a 4. Gets a +1 for the hero. 5. The pickaxe. 6, 7. I am going to spend 7 poison with a take a bite and win. All right. Turn 12. That was our first playthrough of Evil Queen. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this. If you didn't, well, I'm still going to do it. But let me know your thoughts. If you think that something else should be done, if you think that something else could be done. It could be a lot of fun hearing from you guys, as this is the first playthrough I've done. But I do plan on going back and doing the other, 7 characters that I've already covered in walkthroughs. Anyways, we'll see you guys tonight for the Lurkana Pack Short. See you there.